Hola familia estelar. We are going to play a little bit with, I'm seeing our guides coming to a communion, which are just manifestations of ourselves, right? I'm hearing their fragments and projections of our own subconscious. And these are different archetypes existing in planes of consciousness that you move through. And as you move through these altered states of consciousness, so I'm seeing in between dream time, I'm hearing in between the moments where you're asleep and you begin to awaken, even in this construct, right, where you become lucid and you remember that this is a third dimensional dream. In the moments of deep meditation, I'm just seeing you fall into deeper brainwave states where you're able to access higher bandwidths of information, right, higher bandwidths of frequency. And yeah, that's what I'm seeing for you. So as you move through these different realms of consciousness, there's different beings that occupy those planes that are waiting for you to begin to retrieve something within you, because I'm seeing it's within your own internal complex, right? Almost like different levels and floors that you're moving through right now. And you've just attained some beautiful information, is how I'm seeing it. So anyway, we are going to go ahead and, well, we're in a cave right now. Do you guys want to see real quick? This is a bit of a hectic read. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and pull some energies to see what will happen, okay? What will happen as you act upon this information. I really hope this doesn't fall. That's what I hope. Okay, let's see. I'm going to pull a message around how are you showing up right now? You're showing up as the 10 of lotuses, right? The 10 of chalices. This is a beautiful energy because really it's a card of ultimate emotional fulfillment in some way. So you could be feeling and we have the magician at the base too. You could be feeling very, very fulfilled with the relationship that you've cultivated with yourself, or I'm hearing the relationship that you've come back to as well. So let's go ahead and take a look at the 10 of lotuses. I'm going to go ahead and read this depiction because this is showing up as a person. So also the 10 of lotuses, just, it's someone that has mastered their mind and emotions, right? The emotional pursuit, I'm hearing. And you've accessed high levels of information because it's also about your intuition too. And it's someone that embarks on a journey where they have like a new emotional beginning or creative beginning in their life as they begin to see themselves as a creator once again. They embark on this journey where you have the 2 of Cups, which is this internal, alchemical marriage that takes place where you're able to merge the fact that you're a non-physical being having a physical experience through this third dimensional avatar, right? This alpha third dimensional vessel, this carbon-based life form in order to be able to experience life on Earth. And you come back to that knowing it leads to mastery over matter, right? Because you're seeing through this construct and into the truth, which is your interconnectedness to all things, the one source experiencing itself through countless life forms, and you're collecting data based upon your subjective journey. Now, and you're returning that to the source. That's what I'm seeing. And then you end up in a 3 of Cups card, but the 3 of Cups, I'm seeing it as because it's a Cancer and Mercury, or Mercury and Cancer energy. It's basically where you come into this communion, but it's where you create friendships or creative collaborations. But I'm seeing this as a creative collaboration with your guides because I'm seeing this as non-physical beings, especially because it's an internal sign, right? Mercurial energy and Cancerian vibes. It's very introspective. It's about internal conversations. It's about intuitive hits that you receive. And I'm seeing it as non-physical beings that have been surrounding you. Anyway, and then you have the 4 of Cups. So the 4 of Cups is somebody receiving this information and they are now reflecting on how they want to move forward. It's like you've learned something from this communion that you can no longer unsee. It almost feels like if you didn't follow this, you'd be abandoning the soul's path. So there's been ways or timelines that you found yourself in that maybe you no longer feel are in alignment with you, right? It's about someone's values changing and them knowing they have to take physical action in order to be able to support this intention that's being revealed to them, right? Or that they're coming back into alignment with. And then you have the 5 of Cups. So that's about a rejection and protection and redirection. It's saying, okay, I have to do this trustful with the universe and focus on seeing the cup as half full, right? Rather than half empty. There's no longer going back to the way that things once were. And then you have the Six of Cups, which is a new chapter that's being turned. It's where you look back at the past as well and you see how far it is that you've come. And it's a Sun and Scorpio energy, so something's being illuminated to your soul that, again, you can no longer unsee. We're taking you through the journey of the cups right now. So I'm hearing this is the journey of a non-physical being experiencing itself through form. So I'm hearing this is coming back to that point of awakening, which is really to just remember yourself. Because as you're immersed inside of this dense plane, or this matrix, right, this system, you can fall into the illusion of separation, you can fall into this human amnesia and fall asleep, but you've remembered your cosmic origin. So once consciousness begins to become aware of itself, it begins to behave very, very differently in this construct. Now, where were we? We were at the Six of Cups, right? And then you have the Seven of Cups. So the Seven of Cups is somebody knowing with Venus and Scorpio, and this is an aspect that we have right now, that there is a selection of timelines that's being revealed to you, but only a select few will lead to, I'm hearing, the advancement of rapid soul expansion, and it requires for you to really honor that and step away from something that may be temporarily pleasing but will only later cause greater pain, right? That's like the energy that's coming through. And then you have the Eight of Cups, which is someone knowing that they can no longer make a deal with the devil, right? They can no longer make a deal with the fearful aspect of themselves. It's where you can no longer negotiate with that fearful octave within you. Instead, they're not focusing on what it is that they're moving away from, but instead what is calling them. And that leads to a Nine of Cups, which is somebody stepping into a frame vibrationally. They're surfing through infinite fractals and they're focusing on all the potential realities that they can begin to collapse around them. And then it leads to the Ten of Cups. So this is where you are, right? We're finally here, right? The Ten of Lotuses. So anyway, this one says appreciation, beauty, and peace. So it's almost like you can appreciate everything that's led you to this point of remembrance. So at last, I'm seeing like someone look in the mirror and they finally recognize themselves as an eternal being, right? Because you are the mirror in eternity staring back at itself. So appreciation, beauty, and peace. At last, a time of peace. Birds sing as they fly through the cool spring air, and the sunrise bursts into the sky behind the green hills. The lotuses bloom in unison, surely influenced by the bubbling wellspring. So again, it's like you're anchoring this information from this hidden wellspring of knowledge, and it's leading to you completely feel about your journey on Earth completely differently, right? So it's intercommunication with the plasma that has fractalized itself into infinite countless life forms, and these plasma beings, right, that are part of a counterpart Earth, existing in dimensions which are not spatial concepts but frequencies all around you that you can only see if you were tuned into it, right? Into these higher bandwidths, and you look at life through the lens of the soul. Plasma is also information, so I'm seeing that being passed back and forth, right? There's almost information in which you've received now in regards to what it is that you must do. So all along, it was the wellspring that has caused all the turmoil of the previous cards, but it has also brought all the beauty, a true lesson in the duality of water. So again, in order to remember yourself, you must first forget. In order to find yourself, you must first lose yourself. In order to, it's almost like that's kind of the energy that's happened. Anyway, this is a symbol of reflection, appreciation, and bliss. It does not ask anything of you other than the experience, to experience life as it was truly meant to be, uninhabited by clouded emotions, you completely absorbed in the beauty ahead. You have journeyed far and experienced a wide range of emotions, some of which have left you feeling uneasy. So again, you're here to experience that full range of human emotion, right? But in order to be able to return back to that neutral point, you must begin to release those emotions and not identify yourself with them, right? Because you're not your mind, you're not your emotions. You are the being that's experiencing them flow through the body, right? You are the quiet observer that is not attached to them. So let yourself get lost in the tranquility of right here and now, a perfect moment of calm, one that is meant to be enjoyed and cherished. How beautiful, right? We're going to take a look at the energetic signature. The most prominent guide in your field is the 10 of embers. So this is a 10-10. This is like a huge completion point. This is a guide that's been with you through like many incarnations. That's also how I'm seeing it, right? It's like you helping yourself in the form of another, all these different kind of subdivisions of the one source, right? Experiencing yourself as deities, angels, guides, whatever that may be. But the 10 of embers is a completion point. It also talks about almost like information. This is like meteors coming and hitting the earth, and this ripple effect. So this is a guide that's had like a huge impact on you. That's what I'm seeing it as. And it's a level of responsibility. It's almost like, no, this is you completing what it is that you had set out or intended to do. So it feels like accountability. It's a guide that is very prominent in your field and holds you accountable. Let me go ahead and read the 10 of embers here as well. The 10 of embers, accomplishment and responsibility. On the other side of the eruption, a miracle seems to be occurring. Wow. The 10 of flames careening from the sky are turning into exquisite alchemical fire. As the fire strikes the ground, it evaporates into the water, leaving seeds of the life in its place. So this definitely gives me almost like a Regulus energy, you know, for sure, whereas that white lion in the sky, it's a royal energy, especially with fire. So this could be Archangel Raphael, could be significant for some of you, and he rules the heart space, which is reminding you of your interconnectedness to all things. And when you see that, right, plasma just communicating with itself, this unified field of consciousness, it's experiencing itself as everything, everywhere, all at once, right, in this omnipotence, omniscience, and omnipresent type of way. And I'm hearing you take yourself out of the equation when you look at life through the lens of the dimensionally limited avatar, and instead you tune into the interconnectedness between all dimensions that are only in illusion, separate from one another. You see yourself as the cave, you see yourself as the floor, the mud, the rain, the everything, right? Okay. So it also talks about as the fire strikes the ground, it evaporates into water, leaving seeds of life in its place. You're at the point where you can now measure your accomplishments with great satisfaction. So this is a guide that's helping you see how far it is that you have come, right, to get to this point, because this is someone that has embarked on this long journey back to themselves, right? So, but this brilliant achievement comes with a deep sense of responsibility. Again, it's almost as if now that you're aware of something, you can no longer, you know what it is? You've expanded into a dimensional plane, right? A realm of consciousness where you can no longer return back to its old form, because once consciousness expands, you know, that's it. It can no longer return back to how it once was. It's like a water balloon, right? That's filled. And then you try to remove the water, right? But it's expanded, you know, it can no longer return back to how it once was. So that's what it feels like. Once you're aware, you have a different kind of responsibility in how you treat all other aspects of yourself, right? So when this card arrives, it reminds that achievements we desire in life do not come free of burden. There are many invisible intricacies involved that come together to make something great. So this is a guy that's been working on your behalf and definitely bringing forth many synchronistic events and experiences. That's what it feels like, because it's saying that this transcends far beyond what it is that the human eyes can see. This is about the journey of the soul, right? Not just the journey of the human. Now you must be conscious of it. You must know when to dim your flame, when darkness is required for others to blaze forward, and when to brighten your flame, and when it's a time for you to take the lead. So it's almost like this is a guide that's never ceases to exist, right? Nothing does, but it feels like it's come in and out of your field at radical transformations. That's the word that I'm seeing, radical transformations, right? Even the rain has stopped right now. So it's almost like they could pass by when you need them, because it talked about the rain hitting the ground and it leads to a seed springing forth. So this is every time it feels like things are hardest, that's when you're on the verge of a breakthrough. And this is a guide that comes to escort you into some type of new chapter of yourself. That's what it feels like. The journey is never ending. Once we think that we know everything, you know, you never do. Once you learn, there is always more to learn, right? We are continuously, forever a student and teacher in life. And there is just almost inwards journeys that you've continued to go through, and it's led to you coming out stronger on the other side. But I'm just hearing profound transformations and changes. So this is a guide that has been designed to assist you in the moments that act as a catalyst. Okay, in the moments that act as a catalyst. Now, I'm also going to take a look at what information have you received recently? The information that you've received is the Queen of Wands and the Mystic. Okay, I love this card because it reminds me of the reading that we did in Egypt, where I was talking about you're a mystic rebel that no one saw coming. And I was basically talking about how the Queen of Wands had stepped into the sunflower field, and all the sunflowers would turn towards her because they saw her as a light source, right? Because she's a fractal of infinite potential. She's the fractal of, you know, the one source, the one plasma that's experiencing itself through countless life forms. But the countless life forms had forgotten that you're another me and I'm another you. Right, they've fallen into the illusion of separation. And it's one day the Queen of Wands just has enough, and she comes into the sunflower field and she points to the source, she points to the sun, and she says, no, you know, don't turn towards me, turn towards your interconnectedness. The connection that I have is the exact same connection that you can come back to, right? So the Queen of Wands and the mystic is someone that knows more than people may give her credit for. Okay, I'll go ahead and read it. I love this card. It's definitely one of my favorites. And she's out of all the queens, she's definitely the most spiritual, just in the way where she has tuned in to that life force within herself, right? She's has this eternal light within her that's guiding her path, and she doesn't want others to turn towards her for guidance. She wants them to turn towards the eternal light that's always forever been guiding their path as well, but maybe they've been disconnected to you. So you serve as a mirror in some way. That's almost the information that you're receiving, to serve as that mirror, again, knowing when it's time to dim your flame and not interrupt the soul's process of their own journey, right, back to themselves. And also when it's time to have that exothermic reaction where you transfer that light and heat to your surroundings, to those who are genuinely ready to receive that information, because people will only be able to meet you as far as they've met themselves. And there's something around, for those who have met themselves to that degree, you are a huge source of remembrance. It's like you are a huge source of familiarity, right? Like the home away from home. And it's where you're mirroring back that infinite potential to other fractals that hold that same exact level of wisdom. Again, we're all children of light, sourced from the same wisdom, and learning to return to that wisdom once again. So the information that you've received is to be courageous, be determined, and, you know, really know that you have cultivated a profound level of wisdom thus far on your journey. So a figure stands on the precipice of molten lava, swinging a 3-flame lantern in the night. Book pressed firmly against their body. They seem to be hiding something learned from the unknown. Again, it's like you've learned something from this unknown, like you've learned something. This is so interesting. So book pressed firmly against their body, they seem to be hiding something learned from the unknown. The mystic has nearly an unquenchable thirst for knowledge. They are determined to seek out truth and courageous enough to think beyond the constructs of society for answers. So what you're being told right now is to turn inwards for answers. You can't turn to anyone. Like, that's not going to be reliable during this time. You have to be able to rely on yourself. The mystic shows up when you have acquired certain knowledge that needs to be shared. So again, this is about wisdom without being shared or imparted. It's like, what's the point? There's something that you're supposed to do with the information that you've received recently, and how that can not just transform your life, but have a ripple effect, because you're here to mirror what's possible, right? You're here to mirror what people thought was impossible to seeing it as I'm possible, and really seeing how your perception creates your reality. And there are only limits in which we create for ourselves, right? That we allow to govern our own internal universe as the universe experiencing itself through human. It may require courage and determination to speak your voice, but your views on the situation are crucial to a group understanding. This high pedestal might make you feel isolated from others, so come down and share with those around you. So again, this is about really not lowering your well, how would I say this? Not lowering your frequency or reducing yourself to try to fit in, but it feels like you may kind of drop hints of the real construct of this reality. And even though those around you may not be able to, like, not everyone is going to be able to hear you, they will be able to listen eventually. People may not be able to see the things that you're trying to show them. They may just look at it upon the surface, but I'm hearing you're going to be a point of reference. I'm seeing you have the potential to show up as like a guide, right? Another manifestation of the all, and almost be what did I say? Be a point of reference. you could be like a mysterious figure that enters and exits people's lives. I'm seeing the word as well, swiftly. But what you say has an impact on the soul. You know what it is? This is someone that speaks directly to the soul. It's like they bypass the human linear thinking, right? They bypass the analytical mind, and you just channel something directly to the soul through whatever it is that you do. Like, you could create something, and the message behind whatever it is that you're doing is so impactful. It's like it speaks for itself, you know? This is about the embodiment. That's what the Queen of Wands has mastered. It's the embodiment. It kind of reminds me of a life path 7. That could be significant for you, where their life is not a marathon. It's a marathon. It's not a race. They gain something by going within, and they understand things inside out, and they can discern what to say to someone based upon the level of awareness that they've cultivated, based upon the plane of consciousness that they're operating under at that given moment in time. And there's something around, you can drop pearls of knowledge or wisdom that are needed at that stage of the soul's evolution. That's what it feels like. You have an act or ability or gift when it comes to discerning how much someone is ready to actually digest, you know, and is actually ready to integrate. That's what it feels like, you know, that's what it feels like. And there's another saying that's been at the tip of my tongue. I'm trying to remember what it is about you. I don't remember. Oh, yeah. It was a saying around those operating in lower densities do not have the capacity to really see you, but you will teach them how to see themselves, and in that they will recognize you as another version of them, vice versa. So with that being said, I'm gonna love any of you right there. I hope that you guys enjoyed this message. If you've made it to this point, comment something down below. Let me know, do you have a name for your guide? Does your guide even have a name? Is it something that, you know, operates in the highest realms, which usually take on no shape, no form, no identity? Is it something that is surrounding you in your third dimensional experience always? Do you feel like this is a guide that comes in during moments designed to be a catalyst in your life? Let me know. Have you identified this guide? Have you worked with this guide? What is the energy that fills the room when they enter into your field? And yeah, let me know. And yeah, so with that being said, I'm gonna love any of you guys right there, because I've got to go. Personal reading details also down below. Also check out Orchestrating Spirit if you guys are looking for some high quality AA grade jewelry. This small family owned business that handcraft these beautiful gemstones. You have 2 discount codes for that in the description box. $1 of the proceeds are donated towards Orchid Sanctuaries. We have Kunzite, Moonstone, and Rainbow Moonstone on today. And I'll speak to you very soon. Personal reading details also down below if I didn't say that already, via email. And yeah, until next time. Bye.